He has graduated in science from DAV College, Chandigarh, and was an active member and blazer holder of Nation Service Scheme. He was commissioned to 17th Battle, the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, in December 1984. During his service to the nation, Colonel D.S. Katoch has served in the treacherous terrain of Jammu and Kashmir, hostile weather of Siachen Glacier, in order to safeguard the nation from external adversaries. He has lived the soldier's dream of fighting the Kargil War during Operation Vijay, thwarting the major infiltration attempt in the region of Patalik and Chorbatla in Ladakh sector. He has been awarded 5 times for his gallantry and distinguished service to the nation by the Chief of Army Staff. He retired in the year 2016 and is currently settled in Pune, enjoying his retired life. He is involved in many activities of social upliftment of the people and betterment of the society. He is an avid golfer and loves to socialize. Today, he is going to speak with us on the topic of leadership, different kind of leadership in the infantry area.
So I start. Jai Hind everyone. I've been requested by Harishji to give a talk on the topic, as mentioned, leadership in infantry arm of the armed forces, rather fighting forces. So I've been introduced already, which I thought I will be doing it anyway. It is so nice of you. Thank you so much. So I have organized this lecture into few parts. First will be the introduction. Then what is infantry, जिसे हम पैदल सेना बोलते हैं, which is one of the oldest form of battle groups. Then whatever in my 33 years I have done in my service, those experience, few of them I will share with you. Then I will conclude, and in the end we will take some question answers. So first of all, let's see what is leadership. Basically, it is a process of influencing people by providing purpose, direction, and motivation to accomplish the mission. So this is the definition broadly, basically in the academic or this thing, but when it comes on ground, it is entirely different. You people are working physically, like in corporate world, you work 24/7 on various projects in various teams, various units and departments. You work physically, you work virtually. In army, it is more of physical work, less virtual. It is on ground, and it is a leader has to be present. He has to influence them by his own actions, demeanor, how to motivate the people to face the business of life and death. So when I say army leadership in infantry especially, it is the total motivating the human resource in very, very difficult situations. In my careers, I have come across few. So in the this thing coming, I will give you the details. What is infantry basically? Like you people know army, air force, navy. But what is infantry? It is the only arm in the forces which can be deployed in all type of objectives decided by our leaders, by our governors, and it is the only arm which has a unique quality to close and destroy the enemy, seize that objective which has been assigned by the leadership, and then hold that ground. Once we hold that ground, then it is a victory. So in army, there are many, branches, like what you call departments. We have tank men, we have artillery guys, we have artillery means guns, big guns firing. Then we have engineers who, clear our tracks and all that of mines and other things. Then we have signalmen who provide us the communications. All these various departments are part of the fighting force, and everybody cohesively lead us to the victory. Everybody participate in those various small and big actions. So if you see human resource, weapons, various terrains, all these things, you cannot in one department cannot win it. It has to be a big team effort. So once the victory is achieved, everybody starts celebrating it. So how we call it in the army, when it was a victory, the cavalry, that is the tank man, claimed it outright. The gunner boasted of his caliber. I provided you the fire support, मैंने पीछे से गोला चलाया तभी दुश्मन का सिर नीचे था. The engineer and signalman said, we provided you the bridges, we provided the communication. They talk of their laurels. But a poor infantryman, normally we are called PBIs, poor bloody infantry. But the infantryman stood silent with the victory at his feet, because he is the only one who can stand on the ground. Nobody else. So it's called queen of the battle, and we call us infantry the ultimate. So this is the crux when the victory is there. Now I come to our training part. You see, in Indian Military Academy, we are given a very tough training for 3 years, then 1 year. Then if you go from National Defense Academy, then you do 3 years, then 1 year in the Indian Military Academy, where you are made officers. So people coming from the civil background, that is the graduation and all that from university, they do about 1.5 years of training. Like me, I was from Punjab University. So I did 1.5 years of training. So when we pass out from there, that is last step of our passing out, we are faced with this credo in the Chetwood Hall, which says safety, honor and welfare of your country come first, always and every time. The honor, welfare and comfort of the men you command come next. Your own ease, comfort and safety come last, always and every time. So in corporate world, how you correlate it, I be very practical. In today's world, the last line which says your own ease, comfort and safety come last, always and every time. So in today's world, the jobs which all of us, and mostly in the civil world, which people are doing, the priority of these lines changes. But when we pass out from there, this is ingrained in us, it is drilled in us. We are the one of the best killing machines in the world. The training part is very, very high, and the motivation from your commissioning days is very, very high. So they gave us a oath, like whatever it is, the saving the Union of India and all that. The last part is most important, even to the peril of my life. You see, when we take the oath, this is the oath which we take. So in ground realities, in actual situations, one has to be very, very, very careful. Since we are bound by all these things, so we ensure that whatever task given to us, whatever these orders passed to us, are obeyed to the last, and we achieve the task oblique mission which is given to us. So in infantry, we carry out little that SWOT analysis, that is strength, weaknesses, objectives and threats. Whenever some task is given to us, so we plan various missions, or you can say projects. In those projects, it is not so easy. I will just give you my first operation. This is called Operation Sudha. This happened in 1986. So in that operation, we were inducted in Ladakh sector in 1986. All troops which are inducted initially was to go long range patrolling, LRP. The battalion, a body of 1,200 people, used to be divided into two groups, and they were given the task to tread that route of about 250 to 300 kilometers in 10 days. Various logistics, other things were provided to us. It was basically, the studies carried out by the armed forces after 62 debacle, that the troops have to be acclimatized to the new environment where they have to do 3 years duty. So in this operation, our battalion was divided into two parts. I was a youngster, I was a lieutenant. We went into one patrol. That patrol completed the task and came back. Then I became part of the second long range patrol. After 3 days, my CO said, you go back and you make a team. A specialized team. He says select 36 people who will go on the other route, because when the first patrol came, almost 10 to 20% people suffered frostbites and chilblains. So our commanding officer refused that I will not send the 500 people on this route, because it involves the heights of 17,000 to 21,000 feet of passes to be crossed. He said, instead I will send a short patrol. So he tasked me, this is the second patrol of the battalion. It has to be completed, come what may. And he said the difficulties are there. We will provide you all the logistics and other support elements. So we started. I still remember it was 25th of October, 1986. I started walking, and after 3-4 days we crossed one pass. Then we crossed another frozen lake. Then we crossed another pass, and we reached Chashul area, where this Pengangso lake is there. So there we halted for 1 day. We recouped our logistics. Again we started walking. Around 9th day, when we were at the base of one of the pass, which was 21,000 feet. So we had a camp at the base, and we started climbing. And I told the other party, you bring the logistic chain up. So we started climbing. By the time we were halfway through the pass, So one of the boy, he climbed up and he said, "Sahab, the logistic wale jo bande hain, wo nahi aa rahe hain, and about our 4 mules of our logistic train has died." So again, for half the way to the pass, we came down again. And I saw almost out of 36, around 10, 12 boys were coughing very badly. They were breathing very badly. Our medical assistant, he was also in a very bad shape. And other radio sets, everything has packed up because of, a very cold climate. We were unable to communicate. So now the problem was what to do. Either I cross the pass with all the people and have some casualties, or I split the patrol, which is not as per the teaching. Patrol is not supposed to be split. Anyway, I told them, okay, I will cross the pass. Anybody who wants to come with me, please come. Otherwise, you are free to go back to Chashul and tell them that I have gone across, I will cross the pass. So around 8 o'clock in the night, 9 more volunteers, they said, sir, we will accompany you. Then in the night, we rehashed our load tables. Each man was carrying about 15 to 20 kg. And next day, we sent the balance 26 people back to the Chishul so that they can take the vehicles and go back. We started climbing. And what snow we expected, it was much more than that. It took almost full day us to climb and reach on the top of the pass. So a distance of not even a kilometer was tread by us in almost 9 to 10 hours. When we reached there, it was almost in the evening, and normally in the evening one doesn't, walk. So we halted at the top of the pass. Again, difficult situation. 21,000 is this thing. We didn't have any oxygen, nothing. And if you see the picture, you can see the equipment which we were in. It was very heavy equipment. Then the night, some boys started having breathing problems. So we had our own arrangements of some liquor and all that. We rubbed them, give them 2 shots. So they came to life. In the morning, all were made to get up. And then when we reached on the top of the ridgeline and we started looking down, it was huge snow. When we were going down, all of us were getting inside. Another fellow used to pull us up. Then we tied each other and started climbing down on our, these dinner plates. That was the only which was used as a skis. So we started rolling down, and took almost 7 to 8 hours to come down from that path. It was so much of snow. It is very difficult when you walk onto a loose snow and your 1 foot goes inside. To pull it out, it takes a lot of time. We didn't have a water, we didn't have a food, and all of us were hungry for almost 36 hours. We keep coming down, and I only told them, I keep pushing them, we will not stop today. We will go down, we will lose the height so that we come to our normal breathing sessions. And after 8-10 hours, we reached one, small stream. There we saw the water. And seeing the water after almost 40 hours, it was a great sight. So we just touched the water, licked our feet, lips, then went down, keep walking down. Then we hit around, I think after 12 hours of walk, we hit one shepherd hut. All of us were hungry. We pulled some money, bought one goat from there, got hold of some, wood, made a bonfire, skinned this thing. Whatever was inside, we ate it. And after that, we slept in that बकरियों वाली जो होता है shed सा एक, उसके अंदर we all of us slept. In the morning, we got up, packed our bags, we started walking. Again, the lake, a frozen lake was there. Then we heard a helicopter searching for us. He hovered over us. He asked us, do you want a lift? Anybody who is unable to walk? So none of them opted for a airlift. All of us, he says, he says, the battalion is waiting for you. You people reach there. Around 7 o'clock in the night, I hit the road. And it was very, very, for a youngster, a young lieutenant, when your commanding officer is receiving you and the whole battalion is lined up to welcome the patrol who has completed the mission. So it was establishing my leadership in the troops. That was my experience. So few takeaways I will share with you of this patrol. Like, you have to establish yourself in the organization, whichever organization you serve, whether it is armed forces or a corporate world or any other organization. You have to establish yourself in the organization. You have to lead yourself by the personal examples. If you show weakness, physical or mental, people will not follow you. And in our profession, it is more difficult. In our profession, it is very, very difficult to lead the people and just pass the orders and tell them you do it. No, it cannot be done. It has to be by personal example and physical and mental fitness. Then is never give up attitude. We were facing all the odds at that 21,000 feet. We would have given it up. If we would have a communication with our base, they would have called us back. So we didn't have a communication, so complete decision making was left on me. And when I remember those 36 people's eyes watching me in the tent, we didn't have a place to pitch it. They were all looking at me. We know what he will say. So when I said, I will cross the pass, you people are free to go back. And then those 9 people joined me. They are still in touch with me after even retirement. Their families are in touch with me. So those are the things which I gained in my very younger life. Then this was the order given to my organization. To complete it was my my prerogative. It was my privilege. What I showed you in the peril of life. Peril of life. That was the project which was required to be completed. So mission and honor of the organization is very, very important. Decision making, I told you, against all odds. Fixing faith in your team about your leadership. That was about my 2 years of service. Then I served 33 years. Till 31 years, I never faced a problem in which the troops disobeyed me or troops didn't follow my chain of command. Then recognition is another important aspect. You have to ensure that your troops are well recognized. The battalion commander and everybody recognized this task. So this was my first operation. So now we move on to my second operation. If you see the picture, it shows, my, like this is one of the place where we are interacting with the, our sources, giving us the information is counterinsurgency. This was the hideout which we, where we killed those militants. And these were the bodies of those militants with whom we interfered. They were successful in intruding into our territory, but somehow we stopped. And these are the various weapons and other things which we captured. So this was another, operation in which I had a very, very close, encounter with the death. It was on 27th October 1992. We were deployed in Kashmir Valley. We were in the second tier of defense, basically anti-infiltration role. And my base was around 16,000 feet. It was full of rocks and other things like the things which you see here. This is my general officer commanding. This was me. So 27th October is, Liberation Day as per their, thinking. They call it Azadi Ka Din. And complete sector was, on a full red alert for, the mass infiltration as declared by these anti-national elements. So all troops were on, their toes. They were very alert. And small movement was also this thing. Since we were in the second tier, I have sent my early warning elements to various my area of responsibilities. Early warning elements is a group of 2 to 3 people with the light machine guns, and others are placed at different locations about 30 to 40 minutes so that they can reinforce in case of any encounter. In the morning on 28th October, I received a call on a radio set. भी साहब हमने एक आदमी को स्पॉट किया है उसके पास हथियार है. So problem was they were only 3 people. तो I asked him how many more people are there. कहते साहब पता नहीं, वो ऊपर आके देख रहा है कितने, मेरे ख्याल में नीचे पार्टी बैठा है. And he immediately hid himself in the boulders. He didn't, encounter him. And then that fellow from the far end started coming towards him. So he was hiding. So moment he came close, he hit him and he shot him. Moment he shot him, he fell down and fell on the rocks. And suddenly they heard the voices of 5-6 people. So it means a group was infiltrated inside the line of control and was hiding and waiting for the daylight to cross over. So I told that fellow, there were only 3 people. And when we finally killed those, there were 10 people. I told him, call each man with 2 names, tell him to fire 1 round from here, then run another 10 meters, again fire a round, create a proxies. So he was able to hold them. They got little scared and they got into this complete hideout. This was a big cave. When we saw it, it was a big cave which can hold more than 30-40 people. So this place was already, it means, wrecked by their guides. How when you cross the line of control, you hide here, then wait for the night and then cross. Somehow that boy was able to hold those 10 people for 45 minutes. And in the meantime, one reinforcement reached. I walked up. I took about 1.5 hours to reach there. Then we planned this thing. In this operation, I had a eyeball contact with them. I spoke to them. I said, you surrender. We will not harm you. He said, you have killed our boys. हम आपके बंदे लेके जाएंगे. So then certain actions took place. My boys, also did, some wrong things. We lost 2 boys. One of the boys, his head scraped over the bullet. And I saw the blood running left, right, and center. So it was very, very, difficult situation to control. So again, decision making was on me. Then I organized everything and I told them, nobody will move ahead. You just place your guns. When I call, only then come. Then I started crawling towards this thing, and I started finding out where are the loopholes, from where I can fire inside or I can throw grenades inside. So I identified 2 spots. So then I started throwing grenades inside so that their problem is there. And at places I start blood coming out. It means they were getting injured. So this operation continued. We were running short of ammunition. Helicopter was supplying us ammunition. It lasted for almost 36 hours. This was one of the operation in which we killed 10 anti-nationals. It was one of the major operation in that sector. This was the first time in the history of Jammu and Kashmir. We found, foreign nationals. Those fellows, all these fellows who are lying dead here, they were carrying the directives from the Pakistan army. They were having disguise of, Sikh gentlemen, so that they can, merge with Baramulla, Sopar and others and start. Basically, they were the core group of leading element of these anti-nationals, because around 92, their operations were dying down. Leadership was dying. So they were sent to rejuvenate them. So this was the major operation which I conducted. A lot of new things we found. We found Israeli radio sets. We found, anticoagulant tablets. They were carrying with them so that in case they are injured, they can just eat the tablets and stop the bleeding. So such type of things were found first time in the valley. So I have few takeaways which I will just discuss with you. So first was when the information came. First is to identify the problem. What information has been passed by my early warning element. How to see what can be the threat level. How much can be the threat level? How many troops are required to be there? So then, once it is identified there are more people, then how to contain that so that they don't run away. Otherwise, it's a huge area. They can run away anywhere. We will not be able to find them. So containing was another task. Again, thinking out of the box, proxy, firing here and there, so that they say we 3 आदमी नहीं है, 10-12 आदमी हैं. And we are better trained. Militants are always scared because our shooting and our other skills are much better than them. They are just hardly 1 or 2 months training. Then mobilizing the resources, whatever I had, so that I can, sustain there. I have to move the troops, I have to move the ammunition, I have to move the rocket launcher, so many things I have to move, so that they don't run away. That was the main, task. Anti-infiltration role was given to us. We were to stop it, so nobody goes past through our territory. Stress management of the unit members. When I had lost 2 boys, I saw there were young boys, new recruits, who were turning blue after seeing the death is not so easy. They turned blue, and that time to put them back on the feet, you require a real harsh words. You have to shake them up so that they don't run away. So that was done. After the loss, either the leader is loses the morale, or he says no, I will just play safe. But that was not the case. We ensured that all 10 of them are neutralized. So all these things taught us. Then after the operation was over, I ran through the same area from where these guys had come. I identified where the leakages were taking place. So this teaches you for your future improvements, how to reduce your losses and how to be how to complete your task. So this was my second operation. This operation fetched us a lot of awards. We had 2 Kirti Chakras, Shaurya Chakras, 10 Sena medals. So this day is celebrated in unit as the Ops Asli Day. So now my third operation was the main operation. And this was not this thing. This is the Operation Rakshak. That is, our normal deployment which we do on tour of duty. This I just inducted so that these are the areas where we have served. This is basically this is the line of control. This is Pakistan. This all is Pakistan. This is again anti-infiltrate Bod Bangas area. This is in J&K Valley. This is my team. We keep on roaming around like, various patrols, area domination, so that nobody ventures into the territory without fear. In this, certain takeaways I will just list out. One is sustained, prolonged tour of duty. We keep on, deployed for six months and keep ensuring whatever the task given to us. Troops go, little, if they don't get leave or something, to keep them their stress level low, we create certain, events, we create certain games so that they are, not starting going left, right. Then 24/7 monitoring and improvement for the success of the anti-infiltration. Militant can go from anywhere. So area domination was the most important. And it is not 12 hours duty or 8 hours duty. It is 24/7. You have to expose yourself to the various dangers. So in that area, how it is done, it is all by your physical and mental fitness, and how you keep their morale by joking with them and ensuring keeping their families in touch by using various phones, other things. That time it was not that, but that time the getting their mails and other things was important. I'm talking about from 92 to 99. Now, most important thing comes when your wife asks, why you are not coming on leave? Why the other fellow has come twice in last 5 months? You have not come so far. How to balance that? That is another important lesson you learn. How to keep that family life also balanced. So, in tour of duty in the armed forces is not easy. This is my Kargil war pictures. These are the various area dominations which I will just brief you. This is again in the battle where I was carrying out a fire base. These are the various ammunition things which other porters were put to. This was in the fire base. I was waiting for the night to fall, and around 9:30 I was to execute the fire plan. So there were a lot of weapons deployed around me. I was the second in command. So my duty was to establish the fire base for the attacking force. These were the various hideouts of those enemies. Wow, this thing. Now in this, I will narrate one incident. I was tasked to go to Kargil and plug the summer gaps. I was not aware that some operation is on of the day. It was around 27th April. When I landed there with my two companies, we heard the gunfires. A lot of shells were landing in Kargil. And moment I reported to the headquarters, that is underground bunker, the general officer commanding said, please split your team into 6 teams. And these are the areas where they will go tomorrow. So I told them, my boys are Ladakhi. They are not, trained for a conventional war. They can go and have small temporary positions. He said, nothing doing, you have to do it. So we deployed for almost 10-15 days, teams like that, sending them in the night, dominating those areas, then coming back or getting the information. Yes, यहाँ पे छुपे हुए हैं, यहाँ पे छुपे. Nothing was known. Nothing was, clarity was not. So around 25th of May, I was called into the bunker and I said, you have to go to the Chor Bati. There is a place near Batalic sector. He said, you have to go for a recce in a helicopter. So I went on a helicopter. The pilot was flying. So I saw a few footmarks. So I said, you follow them. So we followed them. Then suddenly the pilot said, sir, something has hit the chopper. So he turned back, landed on the helipad. Our hydraulic tank was hit by the anti-aircraft gun. It just grazed the hydraulic tank. It didn't hit the hydraulic. So next day again, we flew. I took one more boy with me. So he again went into that area. I said, now you follow nalas and other things, don't go high. So he was following that, but at place he has to climb up. So once he climbed up, a missile came. He saw, the pilot was able to see it, and he switched off the engine. He left the heat signature on the, like all of your technical, once the engine is switched off, the heat signature remains on the top. The missile went through it and blasted. So at that time, I realized there is no point in flying here and there. It is better to land on the ground. I'm an infantryman. I feel more safe on ground. So he said, I told him, okay, please drop me there. So he dropped me there in the Chor Batla area. Then slowly, by almost 15-20 people, he dropped at the place. We organized ourselves. And after that, the firing started coming on the helicopter. Then he stopped. Then the other troops, came by vehicles, landed on the, roadhead, and from roadhead they climbed up. And by morning, like evening, he dropped me with 10-15 boys. Then in the morning, 30, in the night, throughout night, by mobilization, 40 people more came. So we organized ourselves. We started dominating the heights. These are the few heights. If you see these ridge lines and behind. So we found certain unusual things. We found some footmarks. Then we found some cables of communication. But in those areas, it kills you. It's not so easy. And after 2 days of domination, we came across a telephone equipment. So then it means somebody has already intruded inside. So in the evening, we came to know that 4 or 5 people are inside the behind this area. Next day morning, the domination patrol was climbing up, and they were fired upon from the hideout where those 4 or 5 people were. One of my boy was killed, and another company was being reinforced towards our area. And we directed that company to go that side, and they climbed up. And when they reached on the ridge line, they found a huge force waiting behind the ice walls. They have fit the ropes to climb up. Their aim was to come up, go through the Chor Batla, cut Kargil, and choke it. That was the main aim, so that they can develop the other operation. So I started organizing the fire through the artillery guns, and all guns were diverted towards that area. When they saw the deployment, 600, 700 people, 2-3 sorties went off, and they saw the aerial pictures of those fellows. So in a nutshell, a lot of people were killed, those enemies. We were able to retrieve 3 bodies. And in the first week of May, on India Today, that picture came of 3 soldiers of Pakistan Army, that is Northern Light Infantry, Those pictures were given by our troops, Ladakh Scouts. Chief has landed there. He took the pictures and it was given to the media. Then the nation came to know that Pakistan regulars are involved. In that operation, the Ladakh Scout was declared as the best out. Now I say, what are the takeaways from? These are the, when I was going towards the battle, that was my wife. This is my son when I came back. And these are my buddy who was there with me in the war. Few takeaways from the Kargil. For my, this thing. Ultimate satisfaction as a soldier to be part of the war, putting duty before the family. My son has just come on his summer vacation, and next day I was sucked in. Then risk and stress management in those conditions when your helicopter is fired, when is bombarded by the Pakis. Human and logistic resourcement. Putting 40 people at isolated places requires a lot of logistics. And managing them, thank God I was with the Ladakh Scouts, and those fellows, they carry certain survival ration, sattus. So we were for 2-3 days surviving on that. Then timely action to outpace the enemy, preventing major intrusion and cutting off Kargil. If we would not have reached there, let loose. We would have been totally encircled. Then in that face of death, when bodies are, coming down, keeping the people's, fear off is also a big factor which, matters. Then after some people who have lost their lives, looking after their families, we are still in touch with them and we do a lot of things for them. So these were the 3 experiences with me, which I shared with you people. Concluding this complete talk, this is my takeaway on work and family balance. Always follow a routine. Be loyal to the organization you are serving. Never underestimate your caliber. Be physically and mentally robust. Align your work with the mind of the leader. What leader is thinking? What is his aim? What he wants to achieve? Like in your corporate world, you people have your targets, your projects. So your teams, units, sub-units and departments, they work in total sync. Only then your targets can be achieved. Maintain a happy balance between family and work. Otherwise, it will fall apart. Most important, never let your desires to override your financial and physical outflows. You know your physical capability. You know your earnings. You have to ensure that your desires are balanced. Otherwise, you will burn out and there will be fissures in the relationship. So, in a corporate language, you must know your bandwidth. With this, I conclude.
See, after retirement from a disciplined and a committed this thing, how do you relate yourself to the present society, and what do you feel is the lagging thing or area where general public have to improve their commitment?
When I came into the civil life, somehow I was fortunate. Before coming here, I have commanded 3 National Cadet Corps battalions. So I had interacted with the students, I have interacted with the civil fraternity, the professors, their trustees and other things. So I somehow come to know how the life going to be after retirement. So then after 1 or 2 years, so then we started training the people who are now working in the task oriented. Beta isko aise kaam karo. We came to know what are their problems. We identified their problems. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.